the American Express at the Pete Dye Stadium course in La Quinta, California. It's 65 degrees at 6 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Looking forward to the weekend. Going to be an outstanding one. So much happening in so many different sports. Pretty incredible. I mean, really everything in the news as we slide into this weekend. We're going to cover a lot of that over the next few hours. Great to have you with us alongside Aaron Williams. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night. And on this Friday, man, I'm just feeling that you out there are ready to get after it. And that's great. I sense a change already since the season-ending loss. And I get it, holding on to things. I think you draw the line. If you're holding on to a grudge, that is detrimental to your health, both physically and mentally. Let me be honest with you. No one cares about the grudge except for you. Are you wasting valuable minutes, hours, dwelling on something that happened days ago, weeks ago, months ago, in some cases, years ago, maybe even decades ago? Did you ever read John Grisham in Bleachers? How many of you are scorned ex-high school football players and, you can't let that go? That's one side of it, okay? That is bad for you. However, don't ever say goodbye to a loss. Don't ever say goodbye to something of that significance, right? 1987, Florida State blowing a 19-3 lead to Miami. Wide right 1, wide right 2. There's a bouncing ball up the first baseline. It gets through Buckner's legs. Mike Torres, a 76-mile-an-hour fastball, no movement, middle in, and Bucky Dent does what? Miles Jack wasn't down. You can take that with you to the wooden box. And don't listen to those who say, get over it already. Whenever I post something about Dr. Herbie and about his propaganda of a few years ago and what happened at Florida State, I'll always get a few obligatory, get over it. Now, what fun would that be? What fun would getting over it be? I mean, complaining's a blast, especially when you complain about stuff that is as serious as this. All right? Again, for you men out there, let me tell you right now, okay, I'm a little bit longer in the tooth now. Every once in a while, I don't necessarily say that I advise. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm doing it based on my truth. The second best thing you could ever do is complain. The first is pout. Okay, everyone loves the powder. And if you can do that and pull it off, all the power to you. So don't listen to those knuckleheads. Oh, get over it. Turn the page. Just because the players are over it, by the time they get back to the locker room, you see it. It's like going on Cinemax, see them at the 50-yard line. Tongues in ears, grabbing one another. Let me sign your jersey. You as a fan, your season is over. Your holidays are ruined. And these guys have already moved on. Don't ever let anyone tell you to get over a loss. You should never get over Miles Jack wasn't down. Never. Okay? And if you do, great. Now, 2 weeks ago, all right, did they leave it all in the field? I don't think they did. They got away from running the football. They got away from something that worked. As I said, I don't have a problem with him going forward on fourth down. Okay? Liam Cohen showed that is the way he is going to be. He did it all season long. They went for it. They did not get it. Just go back to January of 2018, where the Miles Jack wasn't down game. You saw the laziest, the most cowardly attempt to try to chop off the head of the snake. And Nate Hackett and Doug Marrone sat on the lead. It was pathetic. Wouldn't you rather have a guy who's going out there and trying to win it? But the only reason why I raise this is I sense a change already. I sense a look towards the future and how much better things are going to get. I think we're 91 days away from the NFL draft. You have free agency coming up. Legal tampering period, I want to say, is March 9th. And then everything does become official on the 11th. You got the Combine getting set to kick off next week. You got the East-West Shrine Bowl. You got the Senior Bowl. So, the NFL is brilliant. The NFL just keeps it going and going and going. It's one big cycle with the National Football League, and that is a good thing. That is the exact opposite of college football. All right, college football, it just goes away for a huge amount of time. I mean, really months. God, I feel for those who are on campus and that's all they got. That's how I started. I look back in those days and I'm like, really? Is that what I did every single day? Well, Blue, you talk about the Jaguars every single day. Okay, but that's a different situation. The NFL is so powerful. The NFL is so far ahead of everything else. Although, how about the ratings that came in Monday night? 30.1 million watched Indiana knock off Miami. It's the highest rated event on sports television outside of the NFL, which dwarfs everything else. You got to go back to the 2016 World Series, the last time something was rated this high. So, television companies, those entities, what have you, ESPN, the huge deal they've signed with the college football playoff, they're all going to be tickled to death about this, where you and I look at this and there really does appear to be a problem. We're going to get to this momentarily. A couple of changes today in the world of college football as far as the future with the playoff. They are going to stay at 12 teams, but again, this is almost the modern day bowl championship series. And it's almost like if you're a homeowner, the wife wants a new kitchen. And you're like, why the hell do I want a new kitchen? The kitchen's fine. I don't really spend any time in the kitchen. Why do I want to spend money in a place I'm not at? Okay? And then it's the bathroom. Well, I spend a heck of a lot of time in the bathroom, but the bathroom's fine to me. But once you get done with one thing, then something else has to happen, right? The BCS work this way. The college football playoff is working this way. Whenever they believe that something is wrong and fixable, they immediately admit to their mistakes and then try to fix it the following season. This year is really bizarre. If you haven't heard, I'm going to begin our next segment with it. Really surprised with some of the, changes within the 12-team college football playoff. We will get there momentarily. Okay, this is it's a big week, big weekend for me. Tomorrow will be my mom's birthday. I lost her a couple of years ago. As a matter of fact, we lost my mom's sister yesterday. So that means everyone that I grew up with, I remember when my grandparents died on both sides. Now, all of a sudden, my dad was an only child. I look at my mother and all those early visits in my life with a ton of cousins, a military family. My granddad was in the Navy. A couple of cousins of mine were in the Marines. Another cousin of mine was in the Army. My dad was drafted in the Army. Just goes on and on and on. But Keene, New Hampshire was like a staple. And they had a pool there. It didn't matter. It could be like 50 degrees in August. You know damn well you were going in that pool. But they're all gone. The three sisters and the brother, they're all gone. So it's another generation. It's just a reminder to you and yours. Enjoy them while they're here, okay? Because you blink a couple of times and you're not going to believe it, they're gone. And it's sad. And, they had a great life. I feel a couple of them went too soon, including my mother, is certainly my Uncle Steve, one of the most wonderful guys ever. I think I told you about him. Remember Faces in the Crowd? How that was big in Sports Illustrated. He was in that, and he got a partial scholarship as a baseball player at Notre Dame. That's a big deal, going from New Hampshire to Notre Dame to pitch. And loved him, and he was great. It's been about 10 years now that he's been gone, but it did happen. And she was in a nursing home. She had dementia, which is just cruel. We're all dealing with someone that we know who's had Alzheimer's or dementia. It's freaking cruel. It is. And, I have some ideas about this. I'm not going to say it today on the program, because it's my view on this is very controversial. And this is supposed to be a diversion from the real problems that are going on in life. Okay. The real problems on this show and on this station should be exactly what I started with. Getting over the devastation of Miles Jack wasn't down, and taking that with you through your final breath. That's what sports fans should do. But anyway, rest in peace, Aunt Sin. She was great. She actually did a little radio out in Keene. She was a mayor. She was awesome. Keene, New Hampshire. Great stuff. And anyway, another generation is gone. Filled with outstanding memories, though, no question about it. All right, when I do return, there's another big anniversary kicking off tomorrow. Any idea what that may be? Any idea? Blue. Sports. Blue. Not exactly diverse in the world of his musical selections. What else does Baloo like to get into every once in a while? I wonder what that could be. Well, that's coming up on the other side. Much more on college football in their changes. I'll give you the very latest on coaching jobs in the NFL, both in Cleveland and in Arizona and in Buffalo. How stupid are the Cleveland Browns? They haven't even exercised the Rooney Rule yet. How can you miss on something like that? The Rooney Rule has been in place now for a very long period of time for this very reason. And they've avoided it. I heard a clip today from a local sports talk show host in Cleveland who was completely losing his mind. Okay? Again, a poor organization. How about the Buffalo organization? They have Josh Allen involved in the coaching hiring process, although we heard earlier in the week from the owner, Pegula, that Josh Allen wasn't even asked about the firing of Sean McDermott. Okay, and apparently he was all in on Sean McDermott. They're also going to bring in Phillip Rivers for an interview. So again, you could just look at some of these organizations and you're like, these are multi-billion-dollar franchises with awful leadership. You've dealt with that before in this city. You've seen bad leadership. That's not the case right now. You got some really good leadership in Duval. Let me tell you about great leadership as well when it comes to your eyes. That is Shmunez Vision. 37 years worth of experience, whether it is for laser eye surgery, which would, for you, mean never having to find your readers again, never having to pass out and then all of a sudden get up and scrape the contacts out of your eyes. You could be nervous right now. You could be thinking, all right, I have a problem cataract-wise. Do you have trouble driving at night? Can you just not really see well at night? Chances are that's cataract, okay? Now, you may not need surgery. There could be a very simple remedy for you. Heck, it could be an allergy. I don't know. Last time I went in there, Dr. Neil Shmunez told me I had an allergy. I'm like, what are you talking about? I see fine. He gave me something. It's gone away. All right, I'm going to meet with them next week. But, folks, if you're petrified of surgery, you may not need it. If one is needed, the folks who examine you and answer all your questions, they are also those who will provide surgery, okay? Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt as well. Check them out online, Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram, get the very latest at Shmunez Vision as far as testimonials. All right, we're jam-packed. We are absolutely packed on this Friday. What a weekend. 3 games left, 4 teams. Wow. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's what we got football-wise. Big look coming up tonight as well on the AFC and NFC Championship Sunday.
Warner to throw. Going deep downfield. Isaac Bruce for a touchdown.
I'm Kurt Warner, and you're listening to 1010XL.
73 yards.
92.5 FM.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Big personalities, bold opinions. Lunch just got louder. Joe C, Matt, and Leon are XL Prime Time from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Any questions? Yeah, when's lunch?
Noon to 2 on 1010XL.
The best wings in town are coming to River City Marketplace. Leon Searcy here. Wingstop is opening another North Jacksonville location soon at the end of December. You always get fresh, made-to-order wings in 11 flavors, including original, hot, garlic parm, and of course, lemon pepper. Wingstop now has 18 locations in Jacksonville, always open until 1 a.m. So skip the wait and order your wings online at wingstop.com and swing by to pick up at the brand new Wingstop location in River City Marketplace.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z, the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
I'm with Fred from Cycles of Jacksonville. We always talk about Honda, Triumph, so many great bikes, but Aprilia from Italy is also a beautiful line.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is a fine sport bike. It's one that when you take your helmet off, you're never frowning. You're always smiling.
So if you want to treat yourself to something really special on the road, that's a line they should look into?
Absolutely, and we've got them in stock and ready to roll.
All right, make sure you check them out. They are on Atlantic near Regency. CyclesofJacksonville.com is a great place to go, or check out their Facebook page at Cycles of Jacksonville.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
If a birthday or an anniversary is looming in your future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. Hi, Flying Jacko here. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
How about Scotty Scheffler? 2 rounds of golf, 19 pars, 17 birdies. 17 under. 8 under today, a 64, 9 under yesterday, a 63. We'll check in with our good friend Rick Shoemaker in about 20 minutes and get the very latest from him on the PGA Tour. You know, the West Coast swing underway. And I love this time of year. West Coast swing, the Florida swing, the majors, and everything that is going on with the PGA Tour. So that's coming up in about 20. In the meantime, we got plenty to do, including tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. Going to tell you all about them in a couple of minutes. We're going to make our way to the college football playoff changes. Again, 12 teams, but I'll give you some of the other ins and outs. Tomorrow, January 24th, it is the anniversary of when they fried Ted Bundy right down the road. And I remember being a student at Florida State as a criminology graduate, just totally enthralled with everything, whether it was to be in the FBI, to be a Secret Service, to be like a Horatio Kane and solve a case in 42 minutes. And I think I was actually in school actually, I know I was CSI Miami. But hearing about Bundy and obviously the awful things he did on campus there at Florida State was just remarkable. And what a lot of people forget is that there was no forensics involved in any of this. All of the evidence against Ted Bundy, which was overwhelming, was circumstantial, right? They were trying to put A and B together and prove it until finally they busted into his jail cell, made him bite into something, and they, provided the dental records where they got bites on several of his victims. But they, televised the case. The courtroom became at times circus-like. We know out in the West Coast, Bundy did a lot of work in Washington State, did a lot of work in Oregon. Matter of fact, 2 years ago in Colorado, my GF and I drove by where he jumped out of that courthouse. This guy escaped from jail twice. He jumped out of the library part of a courthouse. He also lost like 40 pounds and snuck out of where the light hole is in his jail cell. All right. He was a brilliant man. He was also crazy. He came to Jacksonville. He came all the way down here looking and didn't do anything. Unfortunately, on his way back, he went through Lake City. That's where he got the 12-year-old girl getting out of school. And then he ended up getting caught, in Pensacola. But you didn't have any of that equipment back then. You didn't have the data. You didn't have the availability to, just throw things into a computer the way that you did today. But I don't have a lot of regrets at Florida State. This is one. It was on a Tuesday. If I could have one back, well, I'd also take the 89 loss to Southern Miss here with Lord Favre at quarterback on that very hot day, my first trip ever to Jacksonville. I'd take that back, but whatever. Number 2, January 24th, 1989. And I posted that today on Twitter. The bar of the first was absolutely sensational. I mean, maybe to this day, one of the greatest bars I've ever been to. Why? Well, number 1, it was on campus at Florida State. Number 2, drinks were insanely cheap, including Blatterbust, which if you don't know what it is, everyone in the bar drinks for free until someone has to go to the bathroom. And on that particular Tuesday night, they had Bundy fries, they had Bundy burgers. It was a huge celebration. Sometimes reasons are created to party. I mean, I remember getting to Florida State and it was like, we're having a hurricane party. And I was kind of like, isn't this supposed to be serious? A hurricane? But I'll never forget that. And I wish I could have gone to just be there for that party. And I've heard from quite a few people who've told me they brought coolers of beer, just went out and had a heck of a good time under those set of circumstances. And look what we're talking about here. Someone losing their life, going to Sparky, the electric chair, and literally getting fried. And then a guy comes out with the thumbs up, meaning he's dead, and everyone cheered. They cheered like they won a championship. So that happened tomorrow, back in '89. And that's it for me. I mean, if I could take one thing back, I wish I could have gotten a ride from Tallahassee to, is it Stark or Rayford? I don't know which one it is. Maybe you know, Aaron. It's right out there in those parts where, they have had a few cents, right? The Gainesville killer, Danny Rawling was Eileen Warnhouse, who is the first ever female serial killer. By the way, I've been to the bar where she got arrested. Have you ever been to that bar called The Last Resort? It's in, is it Orangedale, maybe? Does that sound right? It's pretty close to Daytona. And I've been in there a couple times. They make a ton of money off her. They have stuff that says like hot men and killer women. And they run the video of the movie Monster on a constant loop. Pretty interesting stuff. So ways to make money. A lot of people are into that type of thing, including the host. But anyway, there you go. College football playoffs. You're staying with 12 teams. Okay, this was announced today by the College Football Management Committee. Apparently, they're not close to agreeing. Greg Sankey wants a 16-team college football playoff. He would have liked to see that put into place this year. Tony Petitti, would agree to a 16-team college football playoff. Of course, he is the commissioner of the Big Ten, only if they would move to 24 teams in 3 years. So, no movement there with the two heavies. It's a big battle in the sandbox there between the Big Ten and the SEC. Nothing is going to change as far as any addition of teams into the college football playoff this year. What will change is this. And part of the argument is they've added teams like Texas State or whatever to the Pac-12. The ACC and SEC now will officially play 9 conference games beginning this season. But here's where it's flawed, once again. The Power 4 conference champions are guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff. The highest ranked team of the group of 6 guaranteed a spot in the 12-team college football playoff. Notre Dame guaranteed a spot in the college football 12-team playoff if they are in the final top 12 of the selection committee's rankings. Okay, yeah, this, that. You know what that would mean if you took that way of putting together your playoff and turned it back a month to this year's playoff? Well, I'll tell you right out of the gate what it would mean. Duke would be in. Notre Dame would be in. In Miami, who played for a national title and almost won the dang thing, would have been out. So once again, very smart people, billions of dollars on the line. They can't get the simplest of things correct. Now, you could turn that and say, well, Jim Phillips, who's completely useless as the commissioner of the Atlantic Coast Conference, maybe they'll make some changes there so you don't keep Miami out because of the stupid rules and tiebreakers that apply in the ACC. If the College Football Selection Committee can't get it right, you think this bozo who's the commissioner of the ACC is? Are you kidding me? Laughable. Again, all you need to know about the new college football playoff, take all the records, take everything you saw a year ago. Duke would be in. Notre Dame would be in. Notre Dame yelled. They cried. They screamed. See, when Notre Dame yells, cries, and screams, they get things. They have a powerful punch. Others, it doesn't matter what they do, what they say, they get laughed at. Okay? They're called a circus school. And Miami would be out. So there you go. That's what they accomplished today. Unbelievable. Just insane, if you do ask me. All right. Let's, what time do I have? What time did I say, Aaron, that we had Rick scheduled?
45.
Really that late? Did I say that?
That is what you said.
All right.
You may have misspoke, but that is what you said.
That'd be a first if I did that. Let's see. I think 6:42 is what we have them scheduled for. Okay, so let's take a quick one here. Yes, Port Orange. Thank you. 7293. Great place to take a date. Just go right into the last resort. It's kind of pushed off away from, the strip or any of that stuff. It's kind of hidden. It's got an enormous beer gallery and out back. There's a lot of broken down Harleys. There's a lot of good stuff. I've been there a few times. I've thoroughly enjoyed it just because of the history around it. Guys getting on me on Gacy. I did visit that in Des Plaines, John Wayne Gacy. They ripped they ripped the whole thing down. Just like they ripped down the apartment buildings in Milwaukee of Jeffrey Dahmer. I went by there. That's totally gone now. Okay. I have visited some of that stuff. But it's not like it once was. The sorority house at Florida State is nothing like it once was. As a matter of fact, I believe it's in a totally different area compared to when that happened in the early 80s. So they just want to get rid of it. And I totally get that. No question about it. All right. If you've been injured, I got one name for you, Rick Alexander. It's the Alexander Law Practice. And let me get this out of the way right now. There is no retainer fee. You're not spending a dime. You're never going to spend with Rick Alexander. You're only there to get what, unfortunately, you have earned because you are injured. So don't be discouraged about a retainer's fee. I'm going to have to come up with some money to lay down. Wrong. Not a cent. Go online. Alexander Law Practice. You can make the call, 400-6600. You get an immediate call back. Again, free consultation. And then you start telling Rick Alexander everything that has happened to you. You may be personally injured. Your car could be totaled. Maybe your car just needs to be fixed. Okay, maybe it's got a few issues, but along the way, your back hurts, your neck hurts. You need to see a physical therapist. You need to see a doctor. These are the things that you ask Rick Alexander. You'll see a careful, personal package put together for you. It'll head right back to you, and then you'll begin this overall procedure. Rick Alexander only takes on a few clients because he likes to be one-on-one individually with everyone that he does represent. You're not going to get that from the big firms. You're just not. You're going to get that at the Alexander Law Practice. So check him out. Again, free call, free consultation, no retainer fee. You never come out of pocket. 400-6600, your best bet. Go online. Let's go to AlexanderLawPractice.com.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details. What Baltimore Orioles player received a 22-minute standing ovation?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowner's policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Cal Ripken holds the record of playing 2,632 consecutive games. On his final game, the Oriole great received a 22-minute standing ovation.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Feel the power of Van Halen. Live, jump, America's Van Halen experience. Iconic riffs and David Lee Roth era energy. Sunday, February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. Get tickets now at thcenter.org.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, some golf coming up in about 10 minutes. We'll do that with our good buddy. That is, of course, Rick Cimarron. Rick Shoemaker of Cimarron. I thought we were trying to improve my musical diversity. You've come out here now with AC/DC and the Bad Boys from Boston and Aerosmith.
I mean, well, all yesterday, I did Tupac, I did Biggie, I did DMX, I think I did. So, just I'm switching it up a little bit.
You're new to it, but listen, I'm very sensitive about this. People pick on me. It reminds me of growing up, being in grade school, walking the same way to school every day, getting beaten up, having my lunch money taken. And I kind of feel that way now. People are picking on me about my musical taste.
Well, there's guys out there that enjoy those rejoiners that I played. I mean, I'll try to please everybody.
As long as you have my back.
I got you.
Because I care what people think. Boy, I'm really surprised that a lot of you out there can't let go of not taking the field goal. That's nuts to me. I mean, that's one field goal, right? And I'm fine with that. Of course, we're talking about the game against Buffalo 2 weeks ago. And that to me was very interesting. But I don't have a problem with it. They rolled the dice. It came up short. To me, the big issue was, once again, not running the football. They got away from that quick. Some good stuff to hear about Notre Dame. Do you think they'll be voted in now at number 13? It's a great point. It really is. I'm sure everyone involved in college football wants Notre Dame to join a conference. Notre Dame joining the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC would only helped that conference, financially speaking. I still think the athletic director, Pete Bavacqua in Notre Dame has too much power. Look, they cried this year. They really did. Their coach cried, Freeman cried, their athletic director cried, and they got what they wanted. I love crying, okay? Let's put that third behind pouting, complaining, and crying is like an advanced form of complaining, okay? Usually when you hear about a complainer, he's annoying, she's annoying, oh my God, I got to do this again, I got to hear this again. Crying is far more powerful, right? Because it brings up sensitivity. When someone cries, I mean, you just stop what you're doing. I have daughters, right? You grow up, you have young kids, they skin their knees, whatever. You feel so terrible. They start crying. It's like, oh, no, please don't cry. Anything but cry. Bavacqua cried. Freeman cried. They made the change. They're in. But that's a great point by one of our listeners. Who said that? Can't find it here. We get so many rolling in on the text line, but maybe I can find it here during the break, because I'd like to give credit. I'd love to give you your digits, throw them out there after coming forward with such an incredible opinion on what could happen in the future. All right, let's have some fun with this in our second hour. Again, I want to take another break here so we can bring in Rick Shoemaker and talk about what Scotty Scheffler did today. But if you have not heard, college football is going the way of NASCAR. And I'm actually surprised they didn't do this earlier, because it can generate an enormous revenue stream. And that is putting patches on their game day uniform. You're allowed to put 2 patches. That's going to come into fruition this year. They did say that they're going to really look and explore how to handle things. If you make it to March Madness, if you make it to the College World Series, if you make it to the college football playoff, they're going to have to make some changes there. But I'm talking about regular season. So I'd love to get your idea on what your school should do as far as the premier advertiser. For my alma mater, as I said, I think it should be a plumbing company, right? And that right now best defines Florida State. It would be, we can unclog your toilet, okay? Put it right there. Put it right there above the Seminole head at Florida State.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The conference climb continues as the 16th-ranked Gators turn up the heat with a 5-game win streak. Florida and Auburn at the Swamp tomorrow at 3 on 92.5 FM.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, still family owned and in business for 100 years. When they say you're going to see a big difference, that's for everything. Custom showers and spas, tabletops, mirrors, even replacing foggy windows, all at a more affordable price. And with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed, Lee and Kate's Glass is your best choice. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 23rd, 1962, Jackie Robinson was elected to the Hall of Fame, becoming the first African-American player to be enshrined.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out, equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit
NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
New year, new lifetime dreams. Let's build them together. Jeff Breyer here with the Lifetime family of companies, your local backyard
and indoor
home improvement specialists.
That's right, Dad. Lifetime enclosures, lifetime flooring, and lifetime windows.
Glass and screen enclosures, outdoor kitchens, pergolas, replacement windows, all to enhance your home's livability and value. And a huge flooring showroom with thousands of the latest tile, LVP, hardwood, and carpet selections to help you fall in love with your home again.
Come experience the lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our limited lifetime offers.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
All right, we'll spend a few minutes on golf. The West Coast swing well underway. And my goodness, Scotty Scheffler, this is just absolutely out of control. You're talking about 19 pars, 17 birdies through 36 holes. Let's bring in our golf analyst. Always a lot of fun to talk about the PGA Tour with Rick Shoemaker, who is the owner and operator over at the Wild One Cimarron Golf Club right there on 210. Rick, always a pleasure.
Hey, absolutely. And again, leading right into Scotty, my God, he's a wild one, right?
There's no doubt.
Out holidays and 17 birdies.
Yeah, and a clean card, not even one bogey, not even one. And I haven't watched him play all 36 holes, but from what I understand, he's playing flawless golf once again. He's about halfway to where Tiger was, if you look at consecutive weeks of being the number one golfer in the world. How much longer, Rick, do you think Scheffler can keep this going?
Look, it's always going to come down to unknowns. We don't know what's going to happen in someone's life. But he's a family man, and where is he going to find, contentment and relaxation? He's driven right now. His family's supporting that. But those kids, when they get to 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're doing their junior sports, that's a differentiator, and only time's going to tell. Go back to that though about Scotty. You said flawless. Very interesting though that last night I hadn't watched Golf Channel in a while, and they were critiquing his game yesterday and only hitting 5 fairways, and that he probably needs to clean it up and blah blah blah. But yet here he is, 17 under. And so it's amazing. People are trying to find flaws. It's his putting, but at the end of the day, he has a mentality, and every champion in every sport has a mentality that you can't teach, right? And Scotty's got it.
He does. And, even if you could find a problem during Tiger's era, he at times just hit it too far and would miss fairways. And, of course, the iron play and what is not lost in any of this with the two is what they do around the greens and certainly their putting. And that used to be the one issue with Scheffler. Can he become a better putter? Tiger was always an outstanding putter.
Yeah. I think yesterday the stats even showed him at 26 putts. And I'm not sure what he did today. But again, he's on fire. He's got a drive, and again, his family at the moment supports it, and that's what it takes, right? You need a 360 support of agents, business, but family, and he's got it. And that mental focus is allowing him to do what he's doing. Who's going to challenge him, Rick? You know, I just said to somebody, and as much as he's a great gentleman, as much as he's a good advocate for the game, Rory, I said, I'm going to pick on him.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the highlights. He missed the green with a wedge short downwind in the water.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just like, that's like the most Cardinal sin-esque ever, right? You're downwind, and I'm just thinking until Rory gets his wedge game figured out. But you know what's interesting? The highlights all said. Everything he hit close was look at this 3/4 9-iron. Look at this, half wedge. He's spot on. He's got to learn to control that 130-mile-an-hour swing when he's inside 150 yards. Otherwise, I think Scott is going to run away with another 6 or 8 victories this year.
Yeah, I don't think anyone out there would argue. Talking about the second round today in California, the American Express. Again, Scotty Scheffler, if you're joining us for the first time, he's played 36 holes. He's 17 under par, bogey-free both Thursday and Friday. Rick Shoemaker, of course, owner-operator of Cimarron Golf Club. Brooks Koepka's back. He made a ton of money, had to pay a huge fine. What are your thoughts on how the PGA Tour handled this? There's been a lot of controversy that he shouldn't have had to have paid his way back in, which goes to charity, and that's a positive. But, what do you think about this, right?
Look, they're learning as they go. There's no textbook on that. There's no right answer. I think they're doing the best they can to realize the tour needs the best talent in the world representing them, and Koepka's it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably another 10 or 20 guys that you could argue could get the same opportunity. And so I think it was a win-win. Now, will they change that model because people are unhappy? The association is run by the players. They could vote and say that wasn't stiff enough, right? Time's going to tell, but, Koepka did what he needed to do in his career, 4 years ago, and with injury and maybe not knowing where he was, he's now in a different place and wants to go back to the tour. I don't fault him. I don't fault the tour. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I think they're doing what they know today to be the best answer.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, hey, as we let you go, give us the very latest. What's going on over at Cimarron and the Cimarron Golf Club now that football is over? I expect a big rush of golf individuals like myself who haven't really had a chance to play for several months, but that now is going to come to an end. Looking forward to getting out there to the Wild One. What's going on there, Rick?
Well, we're trying to get better every day. So, the golf course is overseeded with winter grass, so the greens are rolling phenomenally. More like a winter northeast golf course, so that's fantastic. We got fairways, overseeded approaches, so we got that green offset brown look going, a little bit of Arizona-esque in some places. We are rapidly got more projects upcoming to just improve aesthetically the property and just make everybody feel like it is still the best value in North Florida. And that's a generic statement, but I do believe we are the best value, and people are going to see that both on and off the golf course. The Wild One stuff is happening, music every night. It's packed on the patio tonight. We're even looking at a National Songwriters Series starting in February, March, April, May, and bringing in top writers from Nashville once a month. And we top that off February. Everybody look out. It's Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah.
Starting Tuesdays in February, we're going to be pre-celebrating. Our chef's got a Louisiana background. We're going to be doing Tuesdays Mardi Gras specials. We got the beads out. We don't have anything else out. We just have beads. But we're not that kind of place. But we got the beads out and Louisiana food. And Fat Tuesday, we're working on finalizing the band to just have a fantastic Tuesday, February 17th.
Rick, always
looking to have the best of the best.
There you go. No question about it. Hey, it's been a little bit because of football, but I got to get out there real soon. Always a lot of fun, Rick. Thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you.
All right, much more to do. Hour number 2 with Rick Ballou on the other side.
Sports for 1,000.
The only sports radio station in Jacksonville worth listening to.
Who is 1010XL?
We have a winner.
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Lucy Pearson, senior swimmer and soccer player at Wilson High. Lucy is a member of the National, French, and Speech and Debate Honor Societies. She's been accepted to attend UNF. Congratulations, Lucy.
Hey, poker players and sports fans. It's cold outside, but the action is hot inside. Turn game day into payday at Aces Sports Bar inside Best Bet St. Augustine. Catch all the playoff football and college basketball on our big screens and play your hand at the tables. Plus, score $100 for touchdowns during selected pro football games and $500 every 30 minutes at the table games. Get all the exciting details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Spend an evening with James Taylor and his all-star band. The music icon is back on tour. September 22nd and 23rd, St. Augustine Amphitheater. The multiple Grammy Award-winning James Taylor and a night full of his biggest hits. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com. Spend the night with a friend. James Taylor.
The Jacksonville Icemen are back in town this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, it's Lizard Kings weekend. Go back in time to the mid to late 90s and pay tribute to our hockey roots. The Icemen will transform into the Lizard Kings with specialty jerseys and themed music. Friday, the first 2,000 fans get a Tom Coughlin bobblehead. Tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-POD. Iceman hockey is #Sub-Zero.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit HollisPools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There we go, Aaron Williams. You doing some clubbing tonight? You and the wife going out Friday night?
No, I have work in the morning, and so is she.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, staying home is a good deal. I'm going to do that tonight as well. There's really not much going on sports-wise. There's that new movie that's out with a couple of Boston boys in it. I think it's called The Rip.
Uh-huh.
Damon and Affleck. I guess they're cops, and I think the I think the plot centers around they do a drug raid and there's like an obscene amount of cash just sitting right there. I mean, millions and millions. And do you rip a little bit out? Do you skim off the top? Who's going to know?
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know much about it. So
it looks interesting. I see it right here in front of me. Yeah, it says Damon Affleck's, who's it? Sasha Callie? No, don't know who she is, but
I think they're in L.A. for this one, not in Boston, but it should be pretty good. We'll see which way it goes.
Maybe we'll watch that tonight.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, Friday night got early golf in the morning, and then boy, what a weekend! Sunday, Championship Sunday, going to be just incredible. You can really go either way. You can pick any one of the four teams, and see a lot of people are picking Denver here with the upset. It's so convenient to just look at this and say, well, Drake May, the MVP, Jarrett Stidham has not thrown a football in 2 years. Going to take New England here. New England really showed their huge Achilles heel a week ago against the Houston Texans. They couldn't do anything with that defensive line. They still were able to put up points when needed most. The combination of both backs did have some success, but let's face it here, May made some big-time passes when he really had to. Some people believe Denver's defense is better. The one major difference that Denver does have is their interior pass rush. They're number one in the NFL getting pressure from their interior, and of course they're outstanding as well coming off the edge. So that should be really intriguing. As well as, the LA-Seattle game. To me, the best player still in that game is Matt Stafford, all right? People just believe it's too tough of a place to go. With the 12th man in Seattle, that type of environment. Let's be honest about this. Both of these settings, Denver and Seattle, are among the toughest to play in the NFL. I've never really bought into it's such a hard place to play in pro football the way I buy into that in college football. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the college football cathedrals are bigger. They have more as far as attendance. Number two, it's a different fan base. You got a lot of students. You got a lot of people who wish they were students. They live in town. They do whatever. They take off their shirt. They paint their face. They're going to make a lot of noise. Where, unfortunately, for a lot of NFL fans, they've outpriced the market, and it's a wine and cheese crowd, right? Not here. I'm not saying here. But I am saying, like, being in Jerry's world. And when I was a sideline reporter, and I'm getting ready to walk right out after the team, and you see guys pulling up in their Bentley, guys pulling up in their Beamers, right there next to where the players, maybe 50 feet away, getting valeted, wearing a suit. Now, it is different. Denver is a tough place. Seattle is a tough place. I remember way back when I was working with Jack Arute, Lynn Swan and Jack Arute, when I started in this business as interns, I held their clipboards at ABC Sports. And I asked Jack Arute what's the loudest stadium. And I think this was actually in Florida. I was working a Gator game. I don't know if it was a Gator Knoll game or if it was a Gator Tennessee game or whatever the heck it was. Did a lot of them then. And he said, without question, it's UW. I'm like, what? UW? I'm like, they hold like 60-something thousand. He goes, that is the loudest crowd. Well, I will take his word for it. But going to Seattle, I've been there. Jags played there a few years ago. That is incredibly loud. So that's going to be a factor in both of these games. Unless something has happened, I'm going to check here during our first break. But the situation with Anthony Campanile and with Grant Udinski is pretty interesting. There are reports out now, including Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, saying that Campanile is a real contender for this job in Arizona. We know he interviewed there just the other day. Grant Udinski is meeting with the Cleveland Browns right now. He's going to meet with Buffalo on Sunday. This is how poor those two organizations are, okay? Let's begin in Cleveland. They haven't even begun to proceed as far as the Rooney Rule, okay? They fired their coach on Black Monday. They have had 2 weeks to address this. Now, we do understand that one of the candidates is going to be the passing game coordinator, Nate Scheelhaas, coming from the Los Angeles Rams. He's in Seattle. They're getting ready for that game on Sunday. That is excusable because of the rules, and that is excusable because of the game that's coming up. But addressing it further is a big problem. And I listened to some clips today, I guess the most popular show in Cleveland. Both hosts are going just absolutely nuts. How can you allow this amount of time to go by? If you put everything in one pot and you're thinking you're going to get this guy, it's only going to be this guy, but you don't get that guy, then you've really made a major mistake. So once again, Cleveland to me is just a no. It's an endless job. You know, you really do. You go there to fail, in my opinion. Buffalo, after a total Mickey Mouse-like, which I loved, press conference earlier in the week, just filled with embarrassment by the team's owner. It was said, and this was lost, I believe, during the presser, Josh Allen had nothing to say about the firing of Sean McDermott. Okay, they did not go to They did not go to Allen and say, "We're considering firing him. What do you think?" They didn't even ask. Now, reportedly, Josh Allen's going to be involved in the hiring process of their new coach. So think about that for a moment. The guy that he apparently liked and the guy that he was aligned with, you had no say. Now you're getting ready to bring in someone else, and you have all of the say here. I've been asked that question before. I was asked this a year ago at this time. Remember, a year ago at this time, Liam Cohen was announced. Yesterday, Trent Baalke was fired. Liam Cohen had said, "I'm not coming." A day later, Liam Cohen was announced as the Jaguars' next head coach. And people were like, should Trevor be involved? Should Trevor be involved? My particular opinion at the time was heck no. Trevor was not playing franchise-level quarterback, okay, even though he was paid the franchise extension, right? That obviously he's starting to live up to that. Second half of this season, he's one of the 5 MVP candidates with the Associated Press. That just smells in Buffalo. And then they bring in Phillip Rivers? What the hell is this all about? I mean, this reminds me of Robert Irsay bringing in Jeff Saturday off the ESPN set. I mean, seriously, Phillip Rivers may end up someday being a phenomenal coach. He's never done anything. He's done high school football. You got to bring him in for an NFL interview? I do. I believe that, man, you got to earn your stripes in this league. And I get it. It's not fair. Others will get opportunities that people do not get. That's always been that way. That's just life. You have to deal with it. But I mean, this guy just played football a couple of weeks ago. I'm really surprised by that. So we'll keep you updated if anything does happen with Campanile or with Udinski. But on the surface, seems like those two jobs, you're going to organizations that are really struggling right now. And you know about this organization. They had struggles. They had them for a long, long period of time. You can change it. It doesn't always work. You can change it. And right now, in 1 year, it looks like everything that Shad Khan signed off on has been spectacular, right? Hopefully that'll continue for you Jaguar fans in year number 2. All right, where are we? Should we take a break here now? Let's do that. You would think I would know straight up with breaks, but yeah, I'm so focused on everything else.
You're actually a little early.
Am I? So I am caught up.
A little bit. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought with
Yeah,
the
a
interview
little
and all of that. Actually, I just wanted to take a break because I was struggling trying to find something to talk about.
We could find something.
No. Just kidding with that. Fernando Mendoza, oh, by the way, did announce that he is entering the NFL draft. He's probably going to be the number 1 pick. Let me see. Gosh, I'm getting all this great stuff that's in. No one jumped onto my patch deal. Probably a little corny, maybe. I get it. Let me see. Let me check the folks over on YouTube. There's 2 ways that you could that you can join us. All right, you can go to YouTube, which is 1010XL Into the Night. Some people here saying that Moondark Sid says he knew that it had something to do with the serial killer when I promoted the frying of Bundy. Mr. Know-It-All says the doctor prescribed me some milk and cookies and Rick Ballou. That's a mix right there. Okay. Football is over in Jax. I mean, for the time being. Does football ever really end, though, in a town like this? Got a lot of stuff here about visiting Spawn Ranch. I've always wanted to do that, but I think isn't it kind of gimmicky? Like, now, I remember the last time I was in L.A., I was with Jay Mariotti, who I was really close to in the years that I was in Chicago. See, there's a city right there that had battles. When Jay Mariotti was the lead columnist of the Chicago Sun-Times and worked with us at 101 Sports and Sporting News Radio, and Skip Bayless was the columnist at the Chicago Tribune, those 2 guys hated each other. I mean, just think of the egos that are involved, that you're covering 5 teams in that city with the Cubs and the White Sox, the Bears, the Blackhawks, and the Bulls. Okay. And you had the 2 lead columnists basically at each other's throat. It was very cool to sit back and watch until you remember that. That's really not supposed to be the way that it is, right? These jobs are there for one reason. They're there to get the sports information out to sports fans. Now, along the way, entertainment became a part of it. All right, you see it on TV, you listen to it on radio. Columns can be very entertaining. But do people care about battles that you have with other members of the media? Maybe you do. I mean, a week doesn't go by or a month doesn't go by where someone doesn't mention, the Jason La Canfora deal with me. But to me, that was a one-time issue and it was over. There's no grudge. I don't hold a grudge. I called him out because I thought he was lying about Tom Coughlin and a leak. And I stand by that. Okay? But you wouldn't want to hear a long, drawn-out battle between me and Jay. I mean, who cares about that crap, really? I mean, media fights, to me, are pointless. You only have that job because of the games and the sports that you cover. I think you got to keep that into perspective. But anyway, I was with Jay in L.A., and we were in Venice, where all the Jim Morrison stuff was, and he was taking me a couple of his haunts, which was pretty cool. And I asked him, and he said, yeah, he's gone to several different places. The Richard Ramirez, where he stayed, that hotel right off of Skid Row, which is pretty crazy. They actually had that deal not too long ago. You ever see when the young lady freaked out in the elevator? You ever seen that video? And then they found her inside a big pool of water on the roof of the hotel. They've changed the name now of the hotel in Los Angeles.
How long ago was this?
Decade ago.
No,
maybe 12 years ago.
Didn't see that.
A lot of our listeners have. She's clearly running away from something, whether it was a spirit, whether it was a ghost or whether it was a legitimate human being, and she starts freaking out in the elevator.
Wow.
Really good
By
stuff.
herself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then she just disappeared. And that was the same place where Richard Ramirez stayed in the Night Stalker, where, he was actually caught by civilians. It was like the Jaguars defense. It was layered. Ramirez goes left, and all of a sudden you've got like guys running out of the house. Some guy's got a tire iron. Another guy's got a hockey stick. Another guy comes after him, I think with like cassette tapes, and starts firing him at Richard Ramirez, who's wearing a Jack Daniels t-shirt. And he got hauled down and hauled away until all the groupies started professing their love for him. I never understood that part. Bundy as well. Why do women dig that? That's just bizarre to me. But I've never been to Spahn Ranch. I'm getting quite a few now from people who have been to Spahn Ranch and tell me it's worth the trip. So I know I'll go out to, I think I'm going to the other side of California. Go to Colorado every summer right before camp. And I know I'm going to go to Oregon for the first time. Never been there.
Where in Oregon?
I'm not sure yet. Then we're going to head over to like the redwoods of California. I've been all through California, Southern Cal. I've been Northern Cal, but I've never done like the redwoods or any of that type of stuff. So.
I've only been to LA once. So I went to the, it was a museum over there, like near where the Hollywood sign is. It was nice.
Los Angeles is tremendously overrated and tremendously overpopulated. Would much rather go to San Diego. Would much rather go to San Francisco. And, take the drive all the way through San Jose and all the way down to Pebble Beach in Monterey. That's some of the most beautiful parts of the country. I get it right now. San Francisco's kind of up against it. But I don't do all the typical San Francisco things. When I go to like Haight-Ashbury. Always have a good time there. That's a blast, where the hippie movement began. And speaking of Manson and Spahn Ranch, that's where Charlie began, when he picked up Squeaky Fromme, right there on Haight-Ashbury, when he was released out of the tank before relocating in Los Angeles. Coming up next, sports, I promise, kind of.
It started with a dream.
I wanted to be a senator.
I wanted to be a florist. International House Pancake.
And it turned into The Franchi Show.
Are we ready? Yes. Good.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Annie Craig Charnley, senior basketball player at Wilson High. Annie is the co-president of the National Honor Society and is on the AB Honor Roll and the AP Scholar Award.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or cssoutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
It may be winter in Northeast Florida, but it's one of the most important times to protect your lawn. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Their winterizer strengthens roots and improves cold tolerance. Pre-emergent treatments stop spring weeds before they ever start. What that means is you set the stage for a thicker, greener lawn when spring arrives. Call today to schedule your winter lawn treatment with Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
What Major League Baseball player has the most stolen bases in his career?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Oakland A's outfielder Ricky Henderson stole 1,406 bases during his career, including 130 in 1982.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's the favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
Oh, we've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville. Joe C. here. I tried playing handyman with my sprinklers and French drain. And royally failed. So I called Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage, and John Haney came out personally, just like he'll do for you.
You know it. And for a limited time, my good buddy Joe C's coming too.
Huh?
Ain't that right, Joe?
I gotta go to the game.
Go. Go.
Clearwater Irrigation.
At least do this part.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a little bit of news with the alma mater, Florida State. Drew Weatherford is out as, having the chair with the Board of Trustees. He's gone. And this couldn't have happened any sooner. Drew Weatherford's comments when he made them were beyond destructive for Florida State. I will give him credit for one thing. At least he admitted, and he said this publicly for us all to hear, that he never thought Florida State would go undefeated when Florida State's front office, Board of Trustees, AD, president, everyone went through the absurd negotiations that they created against the Atlantic Coast Conference. And look at the backlash. They thought they were so advanced, so far ahead of every other program, even though they could not win an Atlantic Coast Conference championship. And look what's happened since the snub, which they created. They had no one on their side. Jim Phillips, Atlantic Coast Conference commissioner, did not defend Florida State. All right? Look at what Greg Sankey did 2 years ago, the commissioner of the SEC. He did every interview possible to say Texas should be in, Alabama should be in. The networks did their part. We've talked about propaganda with Dr. Herbie, and we talked about it with Joe Tessitore. Florida State was silent. Jim Phillips released the letter that probably his publicist wrote, and he signed it. And that was it, but it was Florida State's fault. And look at them now. They can't even win a game on the road. So getting him out of there is a good thing for Florida State. I think he's on his way to Tampa. I think he has a lot to do with the new Devil Rays or the new Tampa Bay Rays. I don't wish ill on anyone, including Drew himself. Glad he's gone out of Florida State. But, oh, God, you bringing him on board? Former owner of the Suns as well, or Jumbo Shrimp. Ken Babby, a big part of that. We'll see what happens over there in Tampa. And if they're going to, finally move to, seems like every time they're close to getting something done, something ruins that. All they have to do in Tampa is look at the success of hockey, where the location is and how people respond. And again, people respond to winners. Tampa Bay wins. They've won a couple of cups. They've been a consistent team. And they're playing some good hockey again this year. The Jessica Blaylock Panthers a winner last night. But, man, now Brad Marchand's missed 8 games. You realize that with all the betting rules and all the betting laws, and again, let's be honest about this, injury reports and lines of a game have always been there for betting purposes. It was so foolish decades ago when they tried to make a point. And out of all the coaches I've ever met, Tom Coughlin, he did not want to mention anyone with an injury. He did not want to give an edge to their opponent. And listen, I kind of looked at things differently. I can have an opinion on this, but I don't know anything about coaching. I don't know anything about the mindset the way that Tom Coughlin does. For crying out loud, he beat Notre Dame in 1993. He went on the road with BC and won. And he won a couple of Super Bowls. And he took this franchise when they started to an AFC championship game in year 2. Then did it again in 1999. But Coughlin hated to talk about injuries. The only reason why there's an injury report is because of gambling. Period. And no one admitted it. Well, now it's out, and the point spread is obviously directly involved with gambling. But do you realize that in hockey, you do not have to announce what type of injury you have? You can have an upper body injury, and you can say it's an ankle. I was reading last night because I just looked at the box score and I was going to fire Blaylock off a text. And I was like, nah, leave her alone. She's working. So I looked it up, and it was like 2 weeks ago they said Brad Marchand has an upper body injury. Then I read another report a week later saying Brad Marchand has a lower body injury. Hasn't played in 8 games. But the NHL, you do not have to produce what part of your body is injured.
So you just flat out lie.
You don't have to say anything.
You don't have to say anything. But you could say that, but you can have an ankle and say that it's my shoulder.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I was talking about the other day with Frangie and Carline. You go back to the day when Patty Bergeron had the ruptured spleen. I want to say that wasn't even revealed until, after that series was over. Pretty interesting stuff there, if you do ask me. So good riddance to Drew Weatherford. Florida State, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'd like to tell you to keep grinding, but it doesn't feel like that word should associate with my alma mater. And the James Williams kid, I've read some of those tweets. James Williams has done a hell of a lot more with his mouth on X than he ever did as a player. I have no problem with any player saying anything, okay? Except for players who suck, players who do nothing. James Williams at Florida State was supposed to be like the it guy, coming over with Tony White from Nebraska. This guy's a two-way edge. He's an outside linebacker. He can pin ears back, get to the quarterback. He can set the line against the run. We can drop him in cover. He was awful. It was basically 11 on 10. And now he's popping off on Twitter. 46-44, Blue, you're right about Monterey. I was stationed there the year you had to pay the toll to get on the 17-mile drive, which led back to Pebble Beach. The Pacific Grove Municipal was in the Monarch migration path, so I saw millions on the fairway. It's a special part of our country. Absolutely gorgeous. The seals lying all around Pebble Beach, the cold waters, and that drive is arguably the greatest drive that I've seen in the United States of America. I love the Keys. I love going over the 7 Mile Bridge. I love going deep into the Keys. That's really, really cool. Done some really good stuff in North Carolina and the mountains, the Appalachians, Colorado every year. I thought going through, Wyoming, and I'm actually 2 weeks. I'm going to go out to Arizona to play some golf and visit the Grand Canyon. I've never seen that before, so I see some really cool things. But that drive to Monterey is special. It really is. If you've never done it, I would advise that you do. And again, forget about a fancy hotel in San Fran. You know, the Navy Pier is cool. All that going down, you know, the crazy the crazy street that goes back and forth. And my kids wanted to see what was the name of that show with John Stamos and the I forget that's a big attraction. But Hayden Ashbury was very, very cool. I've been there several times. Great stuff there. 6084 Blue. Denver has a pending free agent defensive tackle /D, John Franklin Myers. 6'4", 290, put up 7.5 sacks, playing mainly DT. Could be an intriguing option for the interior pass rush. You know, I've just begun the free agency process. I really feel like there's going to be disappointment this year. It's going to be like it's not going to be like the way it has been the last several years, where Jacksonville struck immediately. They don't have the funds. They don't have the finances. And, you know, a couple of moves they could make, honestly, sense-wise, it'd be better off to do it post June 1st, particularly with Eric Armstead. Now, I don't know the rules and how they apply if you want to do something like that pre-June 1st, but have it kick in post June 1st. You know, I thought they would do that with Zay Jones, and they didn't. They ate the money. I think it cost them an additional $5 or $6 million compared to if they waited until June. But, you know, my opinion on this is that first wave, those top free agents, they're not going to get involved in this because they can't afford to. I think the market will be set. I don't think they'll be involved at all during the legal tampering period. I do think a little bit of downtime will happen. And you'll start to hear more and more and more about draft prospects. And then you're going to be able to pick a guy here, pick a guy there. I guess my point is, tops, I see them adding one starter in free agency. One. That's it. And it's right there at defensive tackle. Someone argued with me today. It was a good argument. I put out there defensive tackle is the number one priority on this football team. And he said, no, it's not. It's safety and it's corner. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, that's your opinion, but I disagree with it because Caleb Ransaw is going to be a safety next year. Jordan Lewis returns for at least one more year. Travis Hunter, and it's such a disappointment that the week that Hunter was really supposed to become the primary target offensively because of the struggles at the time with Brian Thomas Jr., he hurt himself in a non-contact drill over at the Miller Electric Center. That, you know, it's over, you move on, but don't you wish you got to see it? Don't you wish you got to see that game? We may never see it now. I mean, it feels like he's going to be primarily a DB who's involved in some offensive packages. I don't know if we'll ever get a quote-unquote the premier offensive number one target, Travis Hunter, the way it was supposed to be the week he went down. But that's the league, man. Just look at the injury report for the games on Sunday. But yeah, interesting name. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to have to let this market settle until they end up doing that. But, you know, that would be my argument. And again, I'm saying one free agent starter. That's because I think next year, Tootin's a starter at running back. And I say next year, it's really this year. Tootin's a starter at running back. Wyatt Milam's a starter on that offensive line. You have Hunter, who's going to be a starter at corner. And you have Ransaw, who's going to be a starter at safety. And I get it. They use 3 safeties at times. You look at those last several games, they were all getting 40-plus snaps a game. Dewey's not going to come back. You could have Antonio Johnson in the final year of his contract, and I still think you get at least one more year out of Eric Murray. I think this will be it for Murray, and this will be it for, Jordan Lewis. Possibly Lewis, a third year. But I think it's it for Eric Murray. And they knew that when they got him. They were both, 30, 31 respectively. All right, let's take another break. Good questions coming in on the Jags. So that'd be 5 starters. That's pretty tough to find. 4 already there. Rookies that you got really nothing from this year. But it's encouraging. You saw a glimpse in Hunter. You saw more than a glimpse from Tootin as a role player. You got a little taste with Milam, including the final game. He came in, played both right guard and left guard. You got nothing from Caleb Ransaw, but you know that he is absolutely going to be a big part. And again, that's going to be a learning process for him. He's only played safety at the Senior Bowl. He was primarily a corner or a slot guy with the Green Wave when he came out of Tulane.
1010XL is your home for Jacksonville University basketball.
Spend Saturday at historic Swisher Gym, JU, Eastern Kentucky. Tomorrow at 3 on 1010 AM.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Feel the power of Van Halen. Live, Jump, America's Van Halen experience. Iconic riffs and David Lee Roth era energy. Sunday, February 1st at Thrasher Horn Center. Get tickets now at thcenter.org.
Happy New Year, taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach. Football season is wrapping up, but Taco Lou is still cranking out the tacos. If your New Year's resolution is to get back in the gym, remember you can keep the workout going with a taco in each hand or a taco in one hand and a cold Dos Equis or margarita in the other. It's practically my entire exercise regimen. Well, maybe all of it. Anyway, come in, relax, and be ready for a great year. Happy New Year from all of us at Taco Lou.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. I'm Frank Frangie. The next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahans' golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, the interviews continue for both Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanile. Campanile flew into Arizona yesterday. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler says he is a serious candidate for this job. 5 have been filled, 5 are still vacant, 4 of which are in the AFC. Out of those 4 teams, Grant Udinski is involved with 2 of them. He's in Cleveland right now, visiting with the Browns. He is expected to go to Buffalo on Sunday. It's supposed to be awful as far as the weather. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's on unavailable, if he's unable to make it to Buffalo. Although I would think they'd be flying him out on a personal plane, a charter plane. But nonetheless, weather-wise, we'll see. But that is very latest there. I got to believe that we'll have a better understanding with Buffalo on Monday. And, the Cleveland situation is going to be delayed because they absolutely want to have a conversation with Nate Scheelhaas, who is coaching this weekend as the passing game coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot of people believe that he is maybe the guy to beat. And that's gone up and down, back and forth. Grant Udinski, early in the week was the odds-on favorite to end up getting that job. All right, some changes today in the college football playoff format. We are going to continue with 12 teams, okay? That was announced a little bit earlier today and came in from the playoff selection committee. The changes are this, and they're really staggering to me. Number one of the big issues why they cannot agree on the future as far as the college football playoff is Greg Sankey and the SEC want 16 teams. The Big Ten says, okay, sure, we'll do 16 teams, but in 3 years, we want to go to 24 teams. The SEC says, no, we're not going to sign off on that. So they're going to table it. They're going to look at some other issues, including how do things now work in the Atlantic Coast Conference and the SEC going from 8 to 9 conference games. The big change, the Power 4 conference champion automatically gets a spot in a 12-team college football playoff. Notre Dame automatically gets a spot in the college football 12-game playoff if the selection committee votes them in the top 12 in their final balloting. Okay? Not a big deal, right? I mean, a lot of people, their obvious answer is, well, who cares? They're 12. That stuff doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Well, it was 8 against 9 2 years ago for the Natty, right? When it was Notre Dame and Ohio State. Last year, it was number 10 Miami against number 1 Indiana. So it does matter. And you know what that all adds up to? If these rules were applied last month, Miami wouldn't even have gotten in to the college football playoff. Miami came 1 play away from winning the national title. As a 10 seed, Duke would have gotten the automatic entry by winning the conference championship. And Notre Dame, which was ranked in the top 12 by the selection committee, they would have gotten in as well. I guess the only defense to all of this is you do know what the rules, in fact, are going to be before the season does begin. But, it feels to me like they really are. They're putting a Band-Aid on this, and there's going to be another controversy that comes up. See, what's great about 16 and 24 is when you start having controversies there, you get deeper into the bowels of the playoffs, and it is harder for those teams to get there. But again, our sample size says a 12-teamer is absolutely relevant with an 8 and a 9, and this year a 10, no doubt. I'd be surprised if Team 16 gets there. Yeah, I'd be surprised if Team 24 gets there. But come on, it's still great football. You're going to have upsets. The bowl system is broken. We've actually seen that you can win all your games and it doesn't matter. It depends on what's going on elsewise. So interesting stuff there. I really do believe it. All right. Scotty Scheffler tied for the lead in Los Angeles. 8 under today, 9 under yesterday. Okay. He's played 36 holes. He has 17 birdies and 19 pars. Clean card through 36. I know we'll talk about this at times here during the golf season, which to me is now fully underway with the West Coast swing. Before you know it, the Florida swing will be happening. But You know, I love a 2-1 hockey game. I love a 2-1 baseball game. Not a huge fan of a 10-3 football game that we saw here. Blake Bortles, the Ben Koyak touchdown, Jackson, Jalen Ramsey pick. I mean, it was nice, but that fan base that day was so loud. I would have loved to have seen a week later when I was in Pittsburgh, and many of you were in Pittsburgh, and they won 45-42, right? Two totally different styles of football. We all love points. Again, I don't mind a tightly contested, low-scoring hockey game or baseball game. I don't know if I want it every night or every time they play, but I don't mind it. These guys are just destroying these golf courses. I mean, we're at 17 under. What's it going to take to win this? And I wish we had more where the golf course is the winner. We're shooting under par, okay, is an absolute treat, a delight. That's why I will always love David Duval's win here, okay, when he was the only golfer in red figures. Talked about Monterey a little bit earlier. First time I ever went to Pebble Beach was in 2000 to cover the United States Open, and that's when Tiger Woods, Jay Mariotti, and that night we drove all the way to San Francisco. And just had a hell of a good time on that Saturday night. But I want to say Tiger was the only guy who finished in red figures, and he ended up with like 12 under, maybe 10 under, whatever it was. Everyone else was plus. And he took advantage where others couldn't. He was that much better than everyone else. But anyway, I would like to see these golf courses become a little bit more challenging. I don't know if they'll ever be able to change it unless they change the equipment. I think that's where you're at. They've already tried to Tiger-proof it. You basically have two options. Put bunkers in the middle of the fairway or change the equipment, right? I mean, what else can you do? Nothing. You're going to get a 45-42 game every week on the PGA Tour, and you're seeing it right now in California. All right, much more to do with you tonight till we have another break here, or are we good? Am I good? You're good. Wow. Okay.
You did good.
All right. Yada, 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 yada. I mean, I love it. I love the fact that I don't have another break. 8889 blue green defensive tackle, nose guard, linebacker, another young offensive lineman. Well, that's a guarantee. This organization every single year is going to bring in an offensive lineman. All right. I think you can say that next year you're guaranteed to have Cole Van Lanen on the offensive line. You're guaranteed to have Wyatt Milam on the offensive line. That's totally different than what we talked about going into this season. In 3 years, in 2 years, Jonah Monheim is your starting center, right? So, I mean, your left side could be Van Lanen, Milam, and then you get to Monheim. They're going to draft an offensive lineman every single year. Time is running out on Patrick McCarry. He could get released at some point. Anton Harrison is entering the final year of his deal. They're going to pick up the 5th-year option for Anton Harrison. We do have one more. Okay.
Yeah, we have crossed. Yep.
All right. Well, then let's take that break. I would love to see them work Anton Harrison at left tackle. I would. That's what he did at Oklahoma. Again, Trent Baalke, I mean, he was the smartest guy ever. He wanted to bring, let's make him a right tackle. He played well. Only allowed 1 sack this year. But it's more than playing well. I want Anton Harrison to be a top 10 left tackle. I want Anton Harrison to be a top 5 left tackle. He's going to get paid for what he can do, not get paid for what he has already done. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. But I still think he's the left tackle for this football team. Very interesting to see what they end up doing, because you can make a case for him, Walker Little, Cole Van Lanen, or someone else right now to be your left tackle when the season gets underway.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios, polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or cssoutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
The Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach is better than ever. Come experience our new renovated spaces, including an expanded wellness center with upgraded state-of-the-art equipment, recovery solutions, brand new locker rooms, and the Horsell Center for Health and Well-Being, all designed to help you feel your best. And now you can join with no joining fee. Plus, enjoy your 4th month free. There's no place like this place. And you'll love what's new. Visit the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida. And inside the flip side, the action never stops. If you're tired of hearing about the best games after the final whistle, don't get left on the sidelines. Whether it's a unique sporting event you've never seen, a weekend with the family, or a winning date night, Visit Jacksonville is your ultimate playbook. Get in the game. Head to visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app today and see everything coming in 2026. Jacksonville. Experience the flip side.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, getting a lot of great stuff in tonight via social media. Wish I had an opportunity to respond to you all. I'll try, but nights like tonight, it's just very busy. There's a lot of great stuff ongoing. Hacker Nation is here.
Yeah, busy week coming to an end. Championship Sunday, looking forward to that. Florida playing basketball against Auburn. And how about Todd Golden going scorched earth on the University of Alabama last night on his radio show? Did you see this?
No, I did not.
Oh,
Tell
my
me.
gosh. So Alabama has got a young man, Charles Bediako, I believe is his name, that played at Alabama in 2023, entered the NBA draft, did not get drafted, goes to the G League, has played in the NBA G League, signed a contract, a 2-way contract with the San Antonio Spurs, LA Clippers, among others. Well, he decides now that he wants to come back. The NCAA says, I don't think so. You entered the draft. Well, a judge in Alabama, who, by the way, is an Alabama donor, a 6-figure donor, reportedly, is this judge, has given this kid a 10-day restraining order against the NCAA. Alabama's planning on playing him tomorrow against Tennessee. So Todd Golden goes on his radio show last night. Florida plays Alabama next weekend and goes scorched earth on Alabama and says at the end, I don't care if he plays or not, we're going to beat him anyways next week.
Yeah, I love it. I love when coaches go nuts. I love when players go nuts. Every once in a while, I like it when the media goes nuts. So that is interesting. All right, big weekend ahead. How about Scotty Scheffler, by the way? 36 holes, 17 birdies, 19 pars.
Yeah, that's not bad. That'll get the job done on a pretty consistent basis. And I know, PGA Tour starting back up. Scotty Scheffler's been on a absolute roll. You tell me, you're more the golf guy than I am. The Brooks Koepka thing, coming back after being with LIV, coming back to the PGA Tour, is that as big a deal as everybody's making it out to be?
It is, and I actually love it because I miss the personality and I miss the quality of play of Brooks Koepka. I hope it continues with the John Rahms and other, Cameron Smith and others as well.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Absolutely. I mean, but has there been a bigger turn from heel to face in professional athletics in the last 20 years than Bryson DeChambeau?
Yeah, no, it's been wild. It's been a wild situation. And look, LIV was, You know, maybe they had their 15 seconds of fame. Maybe people got the money, but see what it ultimately is becoming. And we'll see what happens. But I know Koepka coming back, he's the first of what people hope are many guys that will return to the PGA Tour.
All right, what else tonight?
Yeah, obviously a lot of talk about Championship Sunday. I'm trying to get there, Rick, with these games on Sunday. Maybe it's because the Jaguars were so close and the coaching carousel. And ultimately, the most important thing is getting there, right?
Yep.
No matter how long it takes. So hopefully I get there by Sunday. But I'm just not fired up yet for the Patriots and the Broncos and the Seahawks and the Rams. I don't know about you, but it's not doing it for me yet.
I'm fired up for it, but I'm fired up for tonight because I'm going to watch the Rip with Affleck and Damon. I'm fired up to play golf with the GFL guys in the morning and Aaron Beasley in the morning. So when Sunday at 3 o'clock comes around, hell yeah, I'll be ready for it. But I'm not ready for it at 8 o'clock right now on Friday night.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But we'll talk Championship Sunday. We'll talk Jags. By the way, both coordinators, it's not looking good for either one to return right now.
Yeah,
so we'll
right
see
now.
what happens.
Boy, both organizations are a mess, though. How can Cleveland not even handle the Rooney Rule?
Did you see what Pelissero said on Rich Eisen today?
No.
They give out essays. And they give out homework. Seriously, that's why you see people taking their name out of the Cleveland Browns head coaching search. They're analytics driven. They give out surveys and essays and homeworks to their coaching candidates. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
It is wild.
I saw a similar thing about that on a clip that came from Cleveland Sports Talk Radio that they just couldn't believe that they hadn't actively thoroughly pursued the Rooney Rule. Shieldhouse is the guy they're going to bring in once LA gets out of it. But, the other candidate, it's been around forever. Everyone knows about it. Still, they haven't done it. But that's Cleveland. They always make mistakes.
Udinski just wrapped up his second interview up there. We'll see what happens.
Have a good show.
Thanks,
That's
Rick.
coming up right now. That's Hacker Nation. Hey, at 10:15 tonight at the Igloo, JU plays hockey. Come support the Dolphins. That'd be a lot of fun. Boy, I wish Florida State had a hockey deal when I got there. I would have loved that. That would have been incredible. I was on the Igloo last year doing a commercial, and it was a lot of fun to get out. It's a great facility downtown, no doubt about it. All right, thank you to Rick Shoemaker of Cimarron. Thank you to Aaron Williams. Thank you to you and all of your comments tonight. As always, the pleasure is mine, and I do mean that. The next time we talk will be Monday at 6 o'clock right here on 92.5